Normally, I would not be making a video about this kind of thing. Hey, it's a random guy, it's a random signing, it's whatever. Why are we talking about this? Well, today's video is going over a big piece of trivia. Similar to Reed Duke and the Vegas Golden Knights, we had ourselves today a signing made by the newly formed Utah Hockey Club. Take a look at this. The very first contract, the very first move made by Utah HC was posted by Cap Friendly earlier this morning, yesterday, excuse me. And they still classify it under the Coyotes, but, you know, the financials and everything, they got to work itself out a little bit later. This is Utah's very first move, and it comes to us in the form of an entry-level contract given out to Noel Nordh. $865,000 cap hit, $900,000 AAV, and his breakdown for each season is a $775,000 base, plus $90,000 salary bonuses and 35,000 games played player bonuses. So, just to give this guy his time in the spotlight, let's go out there and talk about Noel Nordh, the very first Utah Hockey Club signee ever. He's a 19-year-old, 2005 born, 6'2", 198-pound forward. It's kind of crazy how guys are getting this young nowadays. 2005? My gosh, we're getting old. But he's 19, he's a big, strong dude. Left wing, right wing, he's a left-handed player who is signed on to his ELC till 2027, and he was a third-round pick, 72nd overall, by the Arizona Coyotes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It's kind of early for a 2023 third-round pick to be signed, isn't it? Normally, guys who are drafted in this range of the draft don't get signed until the next few years, depending on how good they're progressing, but for Noel Nordh, a guy who was draft eligible last year and who eventually did get drafted third round in that season, is now under contract and going to be making NHL money, assuming, of course, that he makes the team, which is unlikely, but he still will be a part of the system. He was ranked to go in the 97th, 94th-ish range. Bob McKenzie actually had him at number 77, and he was the 20th ranked European skater by NHL Central Scouting, but he eventually went in the 72nd spot. So Bob McKenzie, again, the Godfather always gets it right here. He went out there and predicted the closest ranking for Noel Nordh. And for good reason, too. If you take a look at the 2023 Elite Prospects Draft Guide, Noel Nordh is a smart offensive forward. He's proven quite capable at taking the puck from the boards to the middle of the ice, mostly with smart, small area passing plays. He has value on both a power play and a penalty kill. His defensive play and competitiveness are also good. He's a two-way capable, defensively responsible winger, and in his draft-eligible year in 22-23, he posted up 27 points in 38 games for the Brayden IF junior team. He also played 10 games with the regular team, had 1 goal, which was pretty good, admittedly, for a guy who is only 18 years old, and eventually going over into Brayden this season, he had 22 points in 15 junior games and 15 points in 50 Allsvenskan games. Very nice to see him getting a full-time role with the Brayden IF, even though it's in a lower role because the team got demoted. Good news for 2024, though. Brayden did get promoted back into the SHL, so if Noel Nordh ends up getting loaned out there once more for 24-25, he will get a full taste of SHL hockey, assuming he doesn't get sent down again. But this is a prospect who, formerly part of the Arizona Coyotes and now a part of the Utah Hockey Club, is gonna be an interesting name to keep an eye on over the next few years. We have ourselves a few extra scouting reports that I wanted to go out there and read here because these are actually pretty recent. The fantasy summary for Noel Nordh on Dalibor Prospects says that he is a good quick passer with good physical tools and application and good scanning habits. Noel Nordh's upside is mainly as a defensive contributor and play connector, and he could develop into a versatile third-line contributor. So, think about that, eh? Good physical tools, good defensive presence, nice two-way play. He can produce some offense, but his value will be along the boards, and in terms of his defensive responsibility, this is a pretty good profile for a guy taken in the third round. You don't normally see guys that young, that responsible already in their hockey-playing careers. Nordh, as written by Keith Duggan in January 2024, was having a strong year in Sweden, as the 2023 third-round pick was looking like a potential steal. Playing for Brynäs IF and Hockey Allsvenskan, Nordh has been solid with 4 goals and 10 points in 31 contests. Solid totals for a player who has never played in that league and is still 18 years old. In the J20, he really showed some offensive power. Nordh has 9 goals and 20 points in just 13 games, proving he's ready for full-time duty in Allsvenskan for Brynäs IF. Now, that doesn't tell us much about the player that he is. The March 2023 report written by Sebastian High does, though. Noel Nordh has an intriguing profile. He's quite big. He uses his frame to create physical advantages like winning puck battles and creating separation on the puck. He's an above-average skater and handler, and he's a refined defensive winger. The shooting skill isn't a strength as he lacks power and isn't a scoring threat from even medium distance, but he has flashed some interesting playmaking sequences this season. His scanning habits are strong in all 3 zones, and he reads the ice well, which makes him quite adaptable to multi-variable pressure as a puck carrier. In order to unlock his ceiling as an impactful and versatile third-line winger, Nordh will need to improve his shooting skill, which will also render his playmaking more deceptive, integrate more lateral movement and pace shifts into his rushes to be more unpredictable and dangerous, and really grow into his physical frame. His physical game is already a strength, but it could become a separating skill with targeted development. The team that drafts him will be taking a swing on the tools, intelligence, and safety, as Nordh has a relatively high floor. So everything that we're seeing about this guy, especially when you watch the tape, is a positive sign. This guy could be, as Keith Duggan goes out there and says, a potential steal for the Utah Hockey Club. And even on some of the other articles, I mean, Noel Nordh's 2023 draft prospects profile from the Hockey Writers in 2023 goes out there and talks about these same things. His strengths are his NHL caliber size and strength, his understanding of what it takes to be an effective power forward, his strong defensive game, and his non-stop motor. However, when it comes to improvements, he does lack high-end scoring potential. At the end of the day, though, this article goes out there and says that Nordh doesn't have a toolkit that screams top 6 winger, but he has everything to be a dominant bottom 6 player who takes on 15 minutes of ice time each night. Even if he doesn't have the strongest scoring ceiling, he could still chip in 10 goals and 30-plus points each season if he is given the time to develop his toolkit. However, we'll need to see what he does in his playing time over the next few seasons to really get the full picture. If he continues playing against men in the SHL or eventually decides to move to the American Hockey League, this will help to showcase how ready he is for NHL hockey, or if he'll need another 4 to 5 years to take that step in his career. So at the end of the day, the Utah Hockey Club's very first signing is one of many. It is a really interesting, versatile, defensively responsible power forward winger from Sweden. And when it comes to his potential, this guy very well could become a middle to bottom 6 Utah Hockey Club player as the years go on. We're making this video very specifically because it's a nice piece of trivia, and you should remember this name pretty much for however long you can. I mean, you never know when you need some extra trivia notes. Oh, who was the very first Utah Hockey Club signing? Noel Nordh. Technically not a free agent signing, but indeed somebody that made himself known with a contract here. It's not necessarily Reed Duke from Vegas, but it is similar, so I wanted to make this video here to give all of the scoops. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Noel Nordh. If you're a fan of the Brynäs IF, what are your opinions on how this guy was able to play and continue his development in Sweden, and what are your thoughts on how he'll be able to translate into the NHL, assuming he does play for Utah HC sometime in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Noel Nordh, this new signing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.